Now it's my time. Yeah, don't run too much. Let's wait, man.
Everybody he gets a hold of, he just ragdolls. Even like really elite wrestlers. Seeing him breaking Robert Whittaker's jaw just by squeezing him across his face. Got him down and mauled him until he broke his face.
Do you think it's different with Du Plessis?
He can wrestle, he's got very good jiu-jitsu, he hit hard, and he's a big, durable dude. But I don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle with that guy. Like, I don't know, man. Khamzat's skill is so high level, it makes me wonder. It appears that he's, in terms of, like, grappling that he possesses, seems magnitudes greater than anybody else in his division.
With less than 30 days until the highly anticipated UFC 319 main event, Khamzat Chimaev is turning up the heat with brutal warnings aimed at Dricus Du Plessis, confidently claiming he'll finish him on August 16th and declaring he'll smash anyone who stands in his way. Meanwhile, Michael Bisping shared his admiration for Du Plessis, saying he's always been a fan and never viewed him as underrated. Reflecting on the UFC 317 weigh-in show, Bisping recalled how some panelists called Du Plessis overlooked, but he disagreed, calling him the real deal, a powerful fighter who knocks people out, wrestles, and submits opponents. At the same time, Bisping praised Chimaev's dominance, comparing him to a hot knife slicing through butter, and reiterated, "I'm a big fan of
Du Plessis. It's crazy because when we did the UFC 317 weigh-in show, we had to pick most underrated fighters, and some of the other panel, I think a couple of them had Dricus Du Plessis as underrated, and I was like, I don't know if he's underrated, man. I think he's the real deal. He's a big, strong guy. He's knocking people out. He's wrestling them. He's submitting them. But if you look at Khamzat, right, we know he just goes through everyone like a hot knife through butter.
Michael Bisping acknowledged Dricus Du Plessis' impressive resume, which includes major wins over Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, and Robert Whittaker. But despite those accomplishments, he views Khamzat Chimaev as a completely different kind of challenger, an unpredictable, aggressive force who rarely paces himself. Bisping believes Khamzat won't be able to steamroll Du Plessis the way he has dominated others, and whether Chimaev can endure a full 5-round war remains a significant question.
Strickland twice, Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker, before that was Derek Brunson and Darren Till and Brad Alvarez. It was definitely, I won't say a step up because Strickland was a champ and Israel was a long-time champ. But I do think Khamzat is a different kind of beast. The question is, can he go 5 rounds? I think he knows he can't expect to go out there and just get a hold of Dricus, ragdoll him to the floor, face crank him, smash his teeth in like he did to Robert Whittaker and walk away. The fun thing about Khamzat is that he'll try and do that. I don't think he has the ability to pace himself because he's never had a need to.
Paul Felder also believes this will be the toughest challenge of Dricus Du Plessis' career so far, explaining that Khamzat Chimaev's intense pressure and aggressive attacks in the opening round make him an extremely dangerous opponent. Although Du Plessis has already defeated top fighters like Robert Whittaker, Felder feels Chimaev's relentless style and non-stop pace make this matchup the biggest test Du Plessis.
Yeah, I think so. I think just that first round type of crazy onslaught that he brings to the table, and pressure that he brings early in a fight is very, very difficult, where it might not be the highest caliber as far as pedigree and what we've seen from a fighter so far. I mean, you got Whitakers and people like that he's been able to beat and get through. But I absolutely think that this is going to be his
Paul
big.
Felder emphasized that the opening 5 minutes against Khamzat Chimaev will be absolute chaos for Dricus Du Plessis, highlighting Chimaev's aggressive style of immediately pressing forward, seeking to take the back, land heavy shots, and force a quick finish. While Felder noted that Du Plessis can sometimes appear wild and awkward, he acknowledged that Dricus has consistently proven doubters wrong. Despite the obvious danger Chimaev presents, Felder ultimately leans toward Du Plessis to get the job done.
5 minutes is absolute chaos with somebody like Khamzat. He's going to be on him. He's going to try to take him down. He's going to try to take his back, and he throws big punches. And Dricus being a little bit wild and a little bit clumsy in there sometimes. I think this is his biggest game. But, dude, I'm done ever counting Dricus Du Plessis out of a fight. He has proven all of us wrong over and over again in these fights where we think he's going, okay, this guy's going to kick his ass. So if I had to pick, I'm leaning Du Plessis.
Meanwhile, Eddie Alvarez admitted it's tough for him to bet against Khamzat Chimaev, calling him a powerhouse, but also described Dricus Du Plessis as an odd, unorthodox fighter whose style might not look pretty yet always proves effective. Alvarez praised Du Plessis' incredible conditioning and relentless work ethic, saying he consistently finds a way to win regardless of appearance, making him impossible to fully count out.
I think it's hard to bet against. It's hard to bet against Chimaev for me. The guy's a powerhouse, but I can't pick that. Yeah, Dricus is like this odd character for me. Like I never really watching him aesthetically. It don't all look perfect. It's very it doesn't look aesthetically. It doesn't look good, but he gets the job done. His conditioning's crazy. He's one of the hardest workers in the entire sport, and he finds a way. He's one of them guys who find a way regardless of how it looks. So you can never count him out. But I think Chimaev, if it goes past round 2, Dricus.
Former UFC champion Chael Sonnen also weighed in on how Khamzat Chimaev could defeat Dricus Du Plessis, explaining that Chimaev's primary strategy would be to take Du Plessis down and control him on the ground. If that fails, he'd look to outstrike him on the feet. Chael also pointed out that there was a time when people believed no one could beat Chimaev, and this fight might finally reveal whether that belief still holds true.
How Chimaev beat Dricus is a different verbiage for saying I don't think Chimaev can beat Dricus, and I'm only sharing with you. That's new. You guys have always believed that Chimaev could beat Dricus. You've always believed that Chimaev beat everybody. You believe as recently as Chimaev's last fight that nobody could touch him. And you're a very fickle group. Can he beat him? That's between those two. How does he beat him? He starts with plan A, which is to take him down in one way. And if that doesn't work, which in the past it hasn't, he attempts to bludgeon him on his feet more than he gets bludgeoned. That's the answer to the question. That's how Chimaev would beat Dricus.
Chael Sonnen also questioned whether Dricus Du Plessis would be able to stop Khamzat Chimaev's wrestling or possibly even take Chimaev down himself. He noted that Khamzat often establishes control early, as he did against Robert Whittaker, but believes Du Plessis won't be as easy to dominate. Chael thinks this dynamic makes the fight far more interesting and competitive than many people might expect.
Is he good enough to defend the takedowns of Chimaev? Let's go further with it. Is he good enough to take Chimaev down? I've never seen Chimaev lose a standing fight. I'm watching how good Dricus is at a standing fight. Do you believe that Chimaev can tackle this man? Chimaev has gotten on top of everybody with no exception inside of 5 minutes. And you guys remember the Robert Whittaker fight? He came right across the ring, got him right down right away. Chimaev versus Dricus feels different. Oh, man. Dricus Du Plessis, world champion. It's not quite as obvious that he couldn't go with Alex Pierre. It's not quite as obvious as it felt. It's not quite as obvious that he can't go with Chimaev. Things feel very different right now.
Furthermore, Chael Sonnen emphasizes just how wild and unpredictable this showdown promises to be, noting that neither man is in for an easy night. He sees it as a perfect example of the exciting new era of middleweight battles, a clash that showcases the division's depth, danger, and evolving talent. For Sonnen, it's the ultimate display of how fierce and competitive today's middleweight landscape truly is.
Well, go out and take him down. Good luck. Go out and take him down. Yeah, sure. And you got to hold him there once you do it. Oh, and by the way, nobody else has taken down and held Dricus there. Like, this fight is starting to look different. The entire division is starting to look different. There's never been a time that 185 pounds spotlight on. I'm watching this guy, Kyle Brown, myself. I'm thinking this guy might quietly be the real assassin of that division, but that's not easy to say. I think Bo Nickel go all the way to the top. But I think that Durin is greatly underrated, and I don't think Sean Strickland is ready to move on just yet. Like, 185 is a really exciting proposition.
Meanwhile, Arman Tsarukyan has officially joined Khamzat Chimaev's training camp to help him prepare for the showdown with Dricus Du Plessis. Arman described the brutal reality of training with Chimaev, saying it pushes fighters beyond all limits. In his view, it's more than just a camp, it's a battlefield where only the toughest survive, emerging stronger and fully prepared to dominate anyone who stands in their way.
With Khamzat. I mean, obviously there's so many stories about what that guy's capable of in the gym going back for about 10 years. What is it like for you to get in there and roll with him?
I mean, Khamzat, he's a tough guy, and he doesn't care if you're lighter than him, more than 25 pounds. He just go hard with everybody, and it's good. It's good for me, you know. I get a lot of like experience, and I feel like if I can wrestle with him, I can wrestle with anybody, you know.
I would think so, man. And he's probably weighing what? When he comes in, you said 25 pounds. Is that about how much he weighs more than you when you guys go?
He's like 205 size.
When asked about training with Khamzat Chimaev, Arman Tsarukyan said it's incredibly tough, noting that Khamzat doesn't care if someone is 25 pounds lighter. He goes hard with everyone regardless of size. Arman shared that the experience, it is valuable for his development, explaining that if he can wrestle with Khamzat, he feels confident wrestling with anyone. He also mentioned that Khamzat usually weighs around 205 pounds during training, making each session physically demanding and intensely competitive.
We have a training camp with Khamzat Chimaev. He's getting ready for his title fight. He looks sharp, so excited for him and to see him UFC champion. So far, his camp going well. He's healthy. He has a lot of energy, and I'm just here to help him whatever they need. If they need the wrestling, I'll wrestle. If they need the striking, I'll strike. So we're here to help, and I want him to be.
Arman Tsarukyan expressed strong support for Khamzat Chimaev, saying he hopes to see him become UFC champion. He shared that Khamzat is looking sharp, full of energy, and having a great camp so far. Arman added that he's ready to help in any way needed, whether it's wrestling or striking, because he genuinely wants to see Khamzat reach the very top.
Incredible fighter, very tough fighter. Has been hit with a few times. Obviously, myself, obviously Burns. So it's guys. So I'm excited to see how that fight goes with himself and Dricus Du Plessis. I think that's a phenomenal fight. Both guys tough, extremely tough. So that's one of the fights I'm looking forward to.
UFC legend Kamaru Usman described this clash as one of the year's biggest can't-miss moments, believing that both fighters bring unmatched toughness and represent a true battle between two warriors at their peak. For Usman, this showdown promises non-stop action and has all the ingredients to become an instant classic.
I told you guys, don't sleep on Khamzat. When he was fighting Robert Whittaker, everyone said, oh yeah, Whittaker's going to get him. Don't sleep on him. Khamzat's extremely talented, extremely strong. He can shock anyone.
Kamaru Usman has also sounded the alarm on just how dangerous Khamzat Chimaev truly is, warning that underestimating him has burned fighters before. He highlighted Chimaev's rare combination of power and talent, calling it a nightmare for anyone in the 185-pound division. For Usman, Chimaev is the kind of fighter who could shake up the entire division and snatch the belt before anyone.
You can't sleep on him as well. He's the champion for a reason, taking out 3 champions back to back. So hey, respect to all those guys. I respect every one of these fighters. I know people at home were spectators and were fans, and they like to just kind of talk. Oh, he had a bad performance. He had a boring one. Hey, you have to respect each and every one of these guys that's willing to get in here, in little bitty gloves and damn near bare their soul in here. So you have to respect that.
However, Kamaru Usman expressed deep respect for Dricus Du Plessis and acknowledged the tough road he's taken to reach the top. Usman believes every champion deserves credit for the wars they've fought and the risks they've taken along the way. For him, this matchup isn't just hype, it's about honoring two warriors who put everything on the line to prove they belong among the best.
I think it's a tough one for Khamzat Chimaev. Du Plessis, his awkwardness makes him very difficult to deal with. He's got great grappling. He's a very strong opponent. If he can weather the storm in a five and a round fight, I'm leaning towards Du Plessis. We saw what Gilbert Burns did, but obviously Khamzat Chimaev, he's made some changes. He's evolving. He's getting better. He's strong. Oh man, I would love to see Du Plessis win. I'm leaning towards Du Plessis because I think it's a very tough fight. Very tough fight. Khamzat's notorious for fatiguing later on in the rounds, and it was a 5-round fight. Du Plessis
Meanwhile, Stephen Thompson believes this fight will be a tough challenge for Khamzat Chimaev, viewing Dricus Du Plessis as awkward, strong, and difficult to handle, especially in a drawn-out fight. Thompson thinks that if Du Plessis can survive the early pressure, he stands a strong chance of taking over as the bout progresses. He also pointed out that while Chimaev is improving, he still tends to fade in the later rounds. In the end, Thompson slightly favors Du Plessis to emerge victorious in a hard-fought battle.
Who do you think wins that fight between DDT and Hamza?
I don't think that Du Plessis wrestling even close to that. When we watch fight with Whittaker, he just take him down and he just like break him. So nobody did this against Whittaker before, and Hamza still have big power of punching, right? He can just turn off your light by one punch.
Yeah, but DDP looked crazy strong and big in his last fight against Sean Strickland. Khamzat's not a really big 185er. He's got to be like 190 pounds fighting at 185. He's cutting to 5 pounds.
He's even bigger than Du Plessis. Yeah.
No way.
Of course, he's bro. He's big. He's big and strong as hell. Yeah. I don't know how much is in the pounds, but he more than 100 kg.
Moreover, former UFC champion Robert Whittaker believes Dricus Du Plessis has what it takes to hand Khamzat Chimaev his first loss. In Whittaker's view, this matchup is a true test of toughness and resilience, one that could evolve into a thrilling and unpredictable showdown. He sees it as a battle where every moment could shift the momentum, and the fighter who keeps pressing forward may ultimately seize victory. For Whittaker, this is exactly the kind of clash that reveals who truly deserves a place among the division's elite.